Mental illness will affect 50% of us over our lifetimes.
We spend $18 billion directly on mental health, but the true cost is 10 times that.
The community need a robust mental health system.
I really believe that we're focusing on the wrong thing right now with mental health. And that is that most people are setting themselves up based on unrealistic expectations, and no one is really giving people effective tools to be able to help people create direction, to understand what they're really trying to achieve in life, to give them focus, to give them the drive and the ambition and all of that stuff in order to achieve it, and also the mental health tools to stay in balance. Well, what about the chemical imbalances? Now, the great thing is that there's more and more research that's come out to show that chemical imbalances like dopamine and all that stuff are flawed theories and flawed concepts, and there was flawed research in the first place in order to come up with those theories. Is there a chemical imbalance? Maybe. But right now, if you take a blood sample of your hormonal state and you check it about 5 hours later and you check it another 5 hours later, you will realize that there is a cycle that people go through. And so the chemicals in our body are changing all the time. They're changing moment by moment. And the chemical imbalance theory, I believe, is highly flawed. And it's highly flawed because in order to think that someone has a chemical imbalance consistently, you've got to ask why. Now, why do chemicals imbalance in our body? Most people in neuroscience and even the field of psychology do not understand that perceptions drive our hormonal cycles and they change our neurochemical states. So in traffic, you're driving to work in the morning, someone cuts you off, you go, what a prick, immediately. Your heart rate changes, blood pressure changes, blood glucose levels change. All of these changes happen immediately because of the perception. So our perception changes our chemical states. You can get a child who's diagnosed with attention deficit disorder at school, and they sit there at school in almost all the classes. There might be a couple of classes they excel in, but in the other classes, they have attention deficit. But then you put them in front of a computer game, they can sit there and play it for 7 or 8 hours straight. Why? Because their perception changes. They enjoy playing computer games, they don't enjoy school. And so their perception of computer games and school is different. Now, why is that important? Because it's their values. Their values dictate what's important to them and not. Now, if that child can perceive that school helps them to play video games better and their purpose in life is to be a world champion gamer, or they want to make millions of dollars every year doing live streaming in gaming, that's really their purpose. That's what they want to do. So you're putting them in a mathematics class and they're sitting there going, why the f am I doing this? I'd rather play computer games. And they don't even know why. And the parents are sitting there going, but they have to be good at school. Well, no, they don't. There's kids that are multi-millionaires right now. There are kids that are making tens of millions of dollars and hundreds of millions of dollars by creating YouTube clips, something that parents would never even thought about in their generation. There are kids now that play esports. So you can essentially sit there and play a car racing game and you get paid more than most motor racers. So those kids grow up with different dreams, different aspirations, different purpose. They want to be a gamer. That's their career. And their parents are saying, yeah, but they're not doing well in school. And they've got to do well at school because really they got to go to university to get a good job. They don't want a job. They want to get millions of dollars playing computer games. But the parent doesn't understand because they have different values. So that creates a conflict. That child now goes, shit, mum and dad are telling me off all the time. I want to adapt my behavior to fit in and to do the right thing at school. But at the same time, I hate school. I can't concentrate. I can't focus. Why? Because their perceptions have changed. It's not important to them. They have a different perception. That perception changes the neurochemistry. That neurochemistry drives internal hormones and hormonal states. And so now you've got hormonal imbalances and neurochemical imbalances. And most people who work in the industries around mental health still don't even understand that.